Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the news of the Masters of the Universe news that dropped. They dropped the trailer a few days ago, and I just wanted to talk about it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and how you felt about it. My thoughts on the trailer really are, I think we live in an age now where people, they're not trying to do any like gritty reboots of things, like a more, down-the-earth version of these characters. Now that we have the capability of doing more technical things with effects and everything like that, I think now we're getting the more comic look of these characters. We're not embarrassed of, taking from the source material and putting it on the big screen, even though how ridiculous it may be. And I think, like I said, modern effects has helped, but I think the look of like these characters has definitely never looked, better. The animated cartoon, for as ridiculous and cheesy as it was, now we're getting a live action counterpart that really resembles that. And I hope that this really comes through in the, the marketing, or the marketing. I think people are like very leery about, especially all these people with this weird hate for Jared Leto. I know he's had his controversies in the past, and I'm not denying that or like ignoring that, but in some movies he can be, a decent actor. The Dallas Buyers Club, by far, was one of his best films. But I think that a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on this type of movie. Is like, it comes from a cartoon. Like, we remember that this comes from a cartoon, and it's not meant to be taken literal. It's when you want to have something, when you see something from your childhood that you remember, that you grew up, you love, you want it to be great, obviously. But let's not forget, this comes from a Saturday morning cartoon, with a guy with, hot pants on, wearing, leather daddy, armor with a sword. And there's a guy that's a buff skeleton, so it's not meant to be taken seriously. And as I bring up He-Man, Masters of the Universe, I also want to talk about the Street Fighter film that's going to be coming out this year as well. A lot of people were hating on that film and the look of certain characters and everything like that, especially the Cody Rhodes character. But then you look up the character from the game and you're like, it's pretty spot on. In the game he's a little bit more buff, but you get a wrestler to play, you get a buff guy to play a buff character. He's not going to be like super bulk unless it's like, cartoon or animated or CGI or whatever. So I think they're doing the best they can, but I think even those characters, like the looks that they had in the original, were not totally accurate to what we see now. But now that it's, the ethos is people want to see the more comic accurate look of these, or the, accurate look of these characters that they look like in the games, or the comics, or whatever. We're doing that. People are seeing that, and it's like, oh, this is cool. We're getting something that more resembles the, the content of the game, the comics, whatever. And I think it could be interesting. I've never really played Street Fighter. I've never watched Masters of the Universe. I didn't really grow up with this stuff, but me as an outsider looking in, I see it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I knew, and like, I recognized the stuff just because, following stuff from like the 80s and learning retro stuff from the 90s and everything. And I knew about the Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia. That was one of his last movies, I think, or second to last films. So I knew about that, and I'm curious to see David Dastmalchian, I think that's his name, play M. Bison, and how he's going to play that. If he's going to bring that Raul Julia flavor to the character, or he's going to give it his own thing. And if he does his own thing, that's great. Like I said, I never played these games, never played the the arcade games or anything, so I'm very curious to see how both of these films turn out, and I hope they do well. People, of course, any film, even though it's good, is going to have its haters, so I'm curious to see what you guys think. Even though if you are fans of the cartoon, the comics, the games, and everything, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and how you think the films will favor. Do you think they'll be good? Do you think they'll be middle of the road? Or do you think they'll be a dumpster fire? Let me know what your thoughts are. And that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.